You reach a large frozen lake surrounded by a thick pine forest. The quickest way would be to walk straight over the ice, but you don't know how stable it is. The detour through the forest would be safer, but would also take much longer. The snow between the trees is deep, and you make very slow progress. The shadows are growing longer, and when you finally make it through the woods, it's already the dead of night.
Perhaps we should set up camp here before we wind up getting lost.
It makes more sense to set up camp for the night than to wander through the woods in the dark. You light a huge fire, and the next morning you set off again, fully rested. While you rest under a ledge at noon, Rodario and Fergus decide to go ice fishing, and the dwarves immediately pronounce their opposition.
Ice and water are both treacherous. They entice you to them. Before you know it, you disappear into them forever.
Like in a marriage, you mean? At first the woman entices you, but if you stay in her arms like a good boy, the good life is over all too quickly.
The good life, in which you go behind the backs of other men, get beaten up, and one day die painfully of a sexually transmitted disease?
All slander, my dear.
Rodario bares his teeth for a moment, and then follows Fergus to the shore.
He reminds me of a billy goat we used to have. Mounted everything that got in its way. One day, he mounted a goat that was standing too close to a cliff. The two of them fell down the cliff in the best of spirits.
It snows all day, and the cold wind continues to get stronger. The dwarves trudge stubbornly on, but at some point, Fergus can take it no longer.
Oh, we are walking right into the eye of a blizzard.
We have snowstorms in the Brown Range too. If you get caught in a storm while hunting, you simply wait it out in a snow cave.
The blizzard will be on us before we can build a snow cave. We should look for a sheltered spot and light a fire.
Instead of looking for a shelter, you simply go to some crags nearby and shovel up some snow on the sides to make a windbreak. You feel better almost as soon as you leave the biting wind. Fergus lights an alchemic fire, and the closeness of your companions ensures a reasonably warm night. By the next morning, the blizzard has blown over, and you set off on your way again. Your path leads you over a snowy, hilly plain, and as you scale a particularly steep hill, you falter. A crevasse opens out in front of you. You look around, but there isn't any point nearby where you could cross over the gap. You follow the course of the crevasse. After an hour, the end of the crevasse is still not in sight. However, you do find a cave that slopes down softly parallel to the crevasse. You are afraid that you might get lost in the ice cave and freeze to death in misery. But ultimately, your curiosity is rewarded. You find after an hour's search a winding passage that leads you to a large chamber. You walk ahead with your torch outstretched and see a shadow in the ice. You step backwards in shock as you realize that it's the body of a frozen human. Something glittering in the floor grabs Goimgar's attention. An ornamented gold shield. Part of it is frozen into the ice, but it should be easy to free.
Pure gold! This thing must be worth quite a bit, though it would be completely useless in a fight.
Wouldn't that be like tomb raiding?
Your companion doesn't answer.
It doesn't feel right. We'd best leave the shield with its owner.
You take a short break and then look for a way back to the surface. You find it quickly and continue on your way without any further delay. You finally arrive at the entrance to a valley that curves its way towards Ironhald, the firstling stronghold.
By Vracus, we've done it!
Get down!
Up there!
Run! I can't maintain the spell for long!
Put him on Goimgar's shield. To the gate. Quick!
As you approach the first gate, you see guards on the battlements. You call as you run.
By Vracus, we are dwarves of the kingdoms of the secondlings and the fourthlings. Open the gate!
Their leader gives orders that you cannot hear, but moments later, the gate opens up for you.
Report back! Man the walls and the defences!
The guards follow the orders immediately.
Who are you that lead the Alpha to our door?
How dare you speak to us like that? Dwarf who seems to have no name?
Boindale steps forward before you can stop him.
I am Boindale Doubleblade, a child of the smith of Burrowing folk. And that is my brother Boindale, who needs a healer immediately.
The commander pulls down his scarf, and his face leaves you speechless.
Only a dwarf could make such a fuss. Balander Steelfinger. I protect the main gate of the firstlings, therefore it is my duty to regard all guests precisely before I invite them in.
But you are a woman.
You have a keen eye, Boindale Doubleblade.
The tender features and soft fluff leave no room for doubt. A female dwarf is the commander of the guard. She gives orders for the injured Boindale to be taken care of. 4 dwarves pick him up on his shield, and Boindale follows them.
Stay with your brother. I will bring the rest of you to Queen Zamtis, where you can explain what you're doing here.
Come closer, and be welcome to the kingdom of the firstlings.
I am Tungdil Goldhand of the Fourthling Kingdom.
You introduce your companions one by one, not forgetting to mention the twins and the Mega too. You then explain the reason for your visit. You report on the advance of the Perish Land, the death of the Magi, and the dispute about the next High King. The dark brown eyes of the Queen fix on you for a moment before she speaks.
What you report sounds very serious, Tungdil. You can be sure of the support of the Firstlings. How may we assist you?
There is only one way to defeat Nodon. Keenfire. To forge it, we need the best smith your kingdom has to offer. Help us, and thus help your kingdom, my queen.
The Queen considers, then nods.
So be it. Could there ever be a better time to revive the old commonality of the kingdoms? Balandis here is not only my best warrior, she is also my best smith. She will accompany you.
Your eyes fall upon Balandis, and you notice the blood rushing to your cheeks.
I will do my best. You can trust in my axe and my hammer.
We must continue on our journey to the Fifthlings in the Grey Range.
Then I will show you the entrance to the tunnels. You will be in the Perish Land within a few orbits.
You know the tunnels, but still the Firstlings live in seclusion.
Our isolation was self-imposed. My mother knew that the other kingdoms would not simply accept her as the queen. She wanted to give them time to get used to it.
Your Highness, in the name of the Council of the Kingdoms, I request that you send a delegation to the Blue Range to take part in the discussions. We all have a common enemy.
There has never been any enmity between my kingdom and the others. It was more neglected friendship and habit that has made us strangers to one another. As soon as you set off for the Grey Range, we will head east to see our brothers and sisters again. I will have rooms prepared for you and your companions so that you can rest. It has been some time since we have had guests, but we still know what hospitality means. Come to me when you are ready to depart.
Hello.
What is it, Tungdil?
It would seem that a lot of important positions are occupied by female dwarves in the Firstling Kingdom.
Is it not common where you come from that men and women share the duties?
Of course. Among the humans and the Secondlings, the women help out in the house so that the men have time for their duties. That's how it is written in the books, too.
Here, posts are assigned according to the skills of the applicant, not gender. It's only natural that the most important posts are occupied by women.
She winks at you and gives you a knowing glance, although the whole thing still befuddles you.
What is it like living with the Firstlings? I haven't seen much yet, but many things seem to be different to life with the Secondlings in Ogre's Death.
I can't make any real comparisons either. I grew up here and have never left our kingdom. I can hardly wait to see the halls of the Fifthlings. They were the best smiths before we took on the mantle.
Don't expect too much. Their halls have been in the hands of the enemy for over 1,000 cycles.
I read that the orcs avoid the stronghold, as if there were a curse on it.
Even reading doesn't seem to be frowned upon among the Firstlings. You feel at home here. But that isn't only down to the books.
See you later.
The second dwarf stronghold you have ever seen also impresses you greatly. The Firstling stronghold is very different to Ogre's Death, but you'd rather not say which you prefer.
Ah, Tungdil. I was wondering when you would pay me a visit.
I thank you, and Jeroen. You appeared at the right moment. May I, ask why?
It was down to you. Your speech about the responsibility I owe to my realm. Lot Yonan was a good teacher.
Her face darkens when she thinks of her old companion.
There are 100 reasons that Nodon deserves to die. That is why I went back to the Secondlings and took another look through the books. I discovered a passage that said Keenfire can only take its effect against evil when it is wielded by a foe of the Undergrounders.
A foe of the Undergrounders? It's going to be difficult to persuade Nork to help us.
I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I think I might have an answer to the problem. The Alpha are also your foes, aren't they?
What the...
Half human, half elf. My mother bequeathed me her gifts and her weapons. I got very little from my father, but his eyes are an advantage.
We should keep your parentage secret, especially from Geralda.
I'm in no doubt that the Alpha did terrible things to her. And I'm not keen on letting her kill me.
If what Nomura told me earlier is true, this Geralda could be just as great a danger as Nodon. She could take control of generals or kings, maybe even me.
You are aware of the danger, but you don't have the energy to think about it right now. You push the problem aside.
And that's agreed. We will keep Nomura's secret to ourselves. And you're sure that only a foe of the Undergrounders can use Keenfire?
Anyone can use it like a normal axe, but only a foe of the Undergrounders can command its magical powers. I don't know much about her, but a half-elf should pass as a foe of all dwarves.
All right then. You will wield Keenfire in the battle against Nodon. But we're going to have to make it first.
You said it.
The actress takes her leave with a little nod.
How are things with Jarun? Could you help him?
He's doing well. He should be back to full strength after some rest.
You still don't know what kind of being is hidden under the armor, but the Mega's powers seem to have done a good job.
The firstlings have offered to improve his armor, and when one of the best smiths in Girdlegard offers something like that, you should definitely take them up on it.
How are you and your powers? You look a little exhausted.
I won't lie to you. It has already been too long since I was in a place where I can draw new strength. My power is trickling away like water from a leaky pipe.
Is that perhaps a way to weaken Nodon?
No, I wouldn't count on that. Even if we could keep him away from the magical realms, the being that lives within him has given him unknown powers.
How was Synthras able to overcome your shield? Can Alpha use magic?
No, certainly not. I don't know much about their people, but I think they have innate powers. Conjuring darkness, extinguishing fire, changing dreams. Little things that fill humans with fear and ensure the potency of terrifying legends about their people. Synthras used a trick, not a spell. We killed 2 Alpha near Sovereignstone. They had crystals on them which they had received from Nodon to protect them from the spells of the Magi. He must have used a stone like that.
Take some rest. And I hope you'll still be here at dawn.
The Mega gives you a reproachful look.
Don't worry. We'll stand by you until this expedition has reached its destination.
It feels good having the Mega and her companion at your side again. Geralda looks depressed.
You look like something's bothering you.
It's just... they avoid me. You're the only one who talks to me.
Yeah, well, you did try to kill us when we first met you.
Geralda gives a wry smile.
Not exactly the best of first impressions, right?
You're not a bad person, Geralda. Just give them some time. You said you wanted to join the Free Folk. What do you know about them?
To be honest, I don't know very much at all. It is said they are like a kingdom, just without a kingdom. No clans, no obligations and traditions, no repressive expectations. Just dwarves living together.
And where do I find them?
Well, everywhere. And nowhere. They hide. I think I almost found one of their cities. I don't know anymore.
See you later. Namora, may I speak with you? I was wondering how you ended up being an actress with Rodario and Fergus.
I have seen many places and done many things that I would like to forget. For a long time, I didn't know what to do with my life. But then I met Fergus. There are no secrets between us. I have never had to pretend with him. He introduced me to Rodario, and I feared the worst, but he was delighted. He immediately wrote me into a new play.
That sounds like Rodario. Your parents, relationships between humans and Alfar is uncommon.
My mother brought me up on her own. I don't know what happened to my father.
You look at her compassionately. Namora notices your expression and shrugs her shoulders.
I never knew him, so I don't miss him.
You don't believe her. You never got to know your parents either. But you still miss them even though Lot Yonan raised you.
This might be a strange question, but do you sometimes wish...
That I wasn't half elf? Of course I've thought about it. But what's the point? This is how I was born, how I am, and it's something I can't change. And well, perhaps it might now serve some benefit for the first time. My heritage could be the key to saving Girdlegard.
See you later.
It is simply legendary. No, it is mythical. We definitely need a large theatre so we can convey the impression of this grandeur to the spectators.
It's going to be difficult, but we'll manage it. But it will be more expensive.
It would appear you like it here.
Ha! Like it? It is fabulous! I almost feel like giving up. Not even the best of illusions could possibly imitate this. But say, what brings you to us, Tungdil?
Why didn't you say that Namora is half-elf?
If our spectators knew, they would run away screaming. So I'm sure you'll understand that we couldn't tell a group of armed dwarves either.
You have to admit that you don't know how you would have reacted if Namora had revealed herself in Mifadania. Fear and hatred of the Alpha is deeply rooted.
You already know her, Tungdil. She has skills, but her lineage does not determine how she thinks and acts. She is the love of my life, and I would go crazy if I were to lose her.
Every step from here on is more dangerous than the last. Are you sure you want to continue on our journey with us?
Of course. Every story needs an end. What kind of play would it be without a third act?
There is no way I'm going to let Namora ride into battle on her own. I will be there to assist her.
And how is your new play coming along?
Good, very good. The band of adventurers who set off to defeat Nodon, aided by the Queen of the Dwarves from the Kingdom of the Firstlings. It's going to be a real challenge to present this story in all its greatness.
Do you already have a title?
I haven't decided for sure yet, but at the moment I'm thinking along the lines of the heroic dwarves and their loyal companions who opposed Nodon despite all the challenges to destroy him and save Girdlegard.
I must go. Rest now.
Rest? Haven't you seen? There are machines that keep the whole city alive. I must take a look.
Tungdil.
How is he?
He's lost a hell of a lot of blood.
The crazy glint in Boindale's eyes has given way to serious concern.
I'm doing fine. You must rest, brother. Stay on your back so the wounds can heal. Fortunately, he hasn't lost his pig-headedness. As long as he has that, he'll come through.
Boindale forces a grin, but you can imagine what he's really thinking and feeling.
I thought Andakai was going to look after him. Didn't her magic help?
We don't want her help. Magic is no use. And we certainly don't want anything to do with Samerson.
You know there is no point arguing with the twins about magic. There is too much of a fine line between conviction and stubbornness. Boindale would rather die than be healed by the Mega.
We'll have to go on without him. He won't manage more than 100 paces without dropping down dead the state he's in.
No! I'll manage, Scholar. Just give me 2 orbits, then I'll be fine. It's just a scratch.
Boindale tries to stand up, but he doesn't have the strength. You shake your head.
Stay here and recover, Boindale. We'll meet you again in time for the big battle against Nodon. You have done your bit.
But where one of us is, the other is too. It is the greatest deed that has ever been carried out by our people. Oh. It would seem you are right, Scholar.
We'll be separated for the first time in our lives. I will miss you by my side in battle. The first 100 runts will be for you.
You will have to protect him and the others on your own now, brother. Don't take on too much, and rein in your frenzy. You must control your anger better than you usually do. Promise me.
I promise.
Tears run down the bearded cheeks of the 2 twins. They have never had to part like this before.
I've gathered all of the metal we need for Keenfire. I'm ready to depart.
You nod and then look her solemnly in the eyes.
Once we set off, stay in the background, keep out of fights, and avoid all danger.
The female dwarf's expression darkens.
Shall we engage in a trial fight, Mr. Dwarf?
No, Bifracus. I know that female dwarves can fight. It's because of the axe. You're the only one who can forge it. If something happens to you, we won't be able to stop Nodon.
The face of the smith relaxes, and then a smile appears on her lips.
I can look after myself.
Greetings, Queen Zamtis.
The Queen bows her head slightly, prompting you to speak.
Please excuse me for asking, Your Highness, but how is it that a queen is sitting on the firstling throne?
The Queen smiles. She has clearly been expecting the question.
It began with an argument. My father valued my mother's advice, but disputed her ability to lead the kingdom. This frustrated her, and she demanded the chance to prove the contrary. In the end, they agreed that my mother would govern the firstlings for 14 orbits. And during this time, there was an attack by trolls, and my mother put them to flight with cunning and bravery. When my father demanded the throne again, she defied him, and the clans followed her. The other kingdoms were appalled and refused to receive my mother, but our kingdom saw that she was a good queen. And when she died 230 cycles ago, the people demanded that I should follow her onto the throne.
Is everything ready for our journey to the Kingdom of the Fifthlings?
We have provided wagons for you and your companions. Are your preparations complete?
Yes, we are ready.
The Queen nods slowly.
Rally your companions. I will march east with my host, but don't be misled. The fate of the perished land is in your hands, not mine. May you succeed and return unhurt. Vrakas be with you.
The plains of Tabain are the most fertile in Girdlegard, and rightly give the kingdom its nickname of the breadbasket. The east of the land has been in revolt since the perished land advanced, and the peace seems to have broken in the heartland too, as a group of strangers crawl out of a hole in the ground.
Why don't we just look for a tunnel that hasn't collapsed?
And what if we don't find one? If we're overground, we at least know that there's a way, even if it's dangerous. Let's go.
Rudeka is, contrary to what the name suggests, a large city. If Rodario is to be believed, more than 70,000 people live here, a number that you find it hard to even imagine. But while you walk through the streets, you don't doubt that it's the truth. Never before have you seen such huge masses of people.
If we are looking for somewhere to quench our thirst or for a roof over our heads, then I would recommend the Golden Well Tavern. And we can find everything we need for the rest of our journey at the big market. Just say where you want to go, Tungdil, and I'll show you the way.
You follow Rodario through the lively streets until he reaches a run-down two-story building. You hope that this dump isn't the tavern that Rodario recommends. You prepare yourself for the worst, but the inside of the tavern surprises you all. The walls are clad with dark, finely ornamented wood. The floor is clean, the tables are weighed down with good food, and a hot fire is burning in the fireplace. One should never judge a book by its cover. The guests look you over, full of curiosity, and many nod a greeting. The haggard woman behind the bar greets you loudly.
Rodario, you old rogue! What are you doing here? And you've got dwarves with you! I don't see one my whole life and then several come along in the same month.
We are on an important mission, Madame Flori, and could do with a place to stay the night.
Rodario introduces you and negotiates a good price for a few beds and a night's lodgings.
Sorry for asking, but you said you'd seen some other dwarves recently.
You're thinking of Gandagar's group and wonder whether they might have reached the kingdom of the Fifthlings already.
Yes, a nice bloke from the west. Paid for his room for a month in advance and then disappeared. Travelling lights.
The landlady's expression darkens.
That was 3 weeks ago. If he doesn't come back soon, I'll have to release the room.
You give Namora a sign and sneak onto the first floor. The half-elf appears moments later. To your surprise, she has Balandis with her, who must have caught something of what was said.
I want to know who the dwarf who is sneaking around here is. Perhaps he belongs to Gandagar's group.
After apologizing to various guests for intruding, you are left with just one untried door. Namora picks the lock and you enter the room unseen. The room is bigger than all the rooms in the tavern you have seen so far, and all just for one guest. There are maps, various pieces of notepaper, and 3 notebooks on the table. The notes are partly written in Dwarvish and partly in the language of humans. The 3 of you scan through them until Balandis draws your attention to a map on which the route from the kingdom of the Firstlings to the kingdom of the Fifthlings is marked.
What would make a firstling travel to the perished land, or even to the kingdom of the Fifthlings?
You believe you found an explanation.
Here, this letter. I have found a way, but I don't know if I will return safely with Star Slasher. That's why I leave to you, dear Barris, my notes, may you, and so on.
Star Slasher?
You have come across this name in the notes a few times already, but you just shrug your shoulders and throw the letter back onto the table in disappointment. You had hoped to have found out some news on the whereabouts of the other group.
A sword. Apparently it was given to Giselbert I by a caravan travelling from the other lands. It seems we're dealing with a treasure hunter.
The big market at the city's south gate certainly lives up to its name. You have never seen a market on such a scale. Stands, large and small, as far as the eye can see. Everything you could possibly need can be found here, as well as plenty of things that seem to have no use at all. While you push your way through the crowd to get to the trader Rodario wants to introduce to you, you overhear 2 peasants talking about elves.
No, I tell ya, it was elves. Pale skin, pointy ears.
Yeah, something strange is going on these days. Old Trundlewood from down Acrehill way said he saw some pointy ears too. Come to think of it, where's he been all week?
Here we are.
Rodario's sudden announcement draws your attention away from the locals to the tent that you're now standing in front of.
Welcome to Brand's Potpourri. Whatever your heart may desire, I can supply.
You are woken with a jolt in the middle of the night by a blood-curdling scream. You look around in panic and see that the others have been woken too, but only Geralda has beads of sweat on her brow. She's breathing heavily. Concerned, you go over to her.
I can remember. The Alfar. They are doing experiments on the children of the Smith. We have to save them.
By Rakus, if the Alpha are experimenting on dwarves, we can't just ignore it. We have to free the prisoners. We can't save the world if we ignore the suffering right in front of our eyes. We will help Geralda.
Boandal and the others accept your decision. Geralda nods at you gratefully. When you reach Acre Hill, there isn't a single villager in sight. An uneasy feeling creeps over you, which finally turns into certainty when you see red paintings on the walls of the houses.
Alpha.
The pictures, painted in blood, tell the horrifying story of how the Alpha came to the village and killed the inhabitants. You also find a few elaborately carved bones, some larger ones, like those of humans, some smaller and stronger, like those of dwarves. When you reach the other end of the village, disgust is written in the faces of your companions. None of you says a word. As expected, you don't find any survivors, but there are also no undead. The perished land has not yet advanced this far. You discover some footprints on the northern edge of the village.
It was orcs. Looks as though they waited here while the pointy ears wreaked havoc in the village. It seems like they moved on towards the north.
You gather all the bones you can find together and burn them. You wash over the paintings with water from the well. You weren't able to prevent this gruesome incident, but you don't want to leave a single trace of it behind. Some way from the path, you come across an old campsite between some rocks. A trampled-out campfire and scattered belongings, papers, bottles, and a necklace, suggests that the traveller either had to flee in a hurry or was abducted.
That is a firstling necklace. I recognise the emblem. It belongs to the clan of the Rough Blades.
We only know of one firstling out so far west these days, the dwarf whose notes we found in the tavern.
Star Slasher. If King Giselbert really did wield this sword, it would be an unbelievably valuable artifact. Just imagine if the sword really existed.
It's not worth losing your life for, or, in the worst case, losing your life and then rising again.
You look around again more closely, but there's not much here that could help you. The ground is too hard for footprints, and the objects that have been left behind could have come from any old dwarf trader.
Do you know anything about the Rough Blades, Balandis?
Every firstling knows of the clan. They have a long tradition as weaponsmiths, though their work is often exotic and sometimes thought of as undwarfish. They experiment a lot with blade shapes and hilt lengths. Their weapons are easy to recognise.
Sounds as though someone from a clan like that would definitely be very interested in a legendary sword.
You walk through the villages that once blossomed, but are now deserted due to the advance of the parish land. The colour has drained away from the wood of many of the houses, just as it has from the countryside itself. A carpet of withered plants rustles and crackles under your feet. You don't know if the parish land can ever be driven away again, and even if it can, it is questionable whether people will ever live here again. You sigh, and try to drive these dark thoughts away from your mind.
Ooh, do you smell that? Come! Oink, oink!
Without even waiting for you, Boindil runs over the hill and disappears behind it. You follow him, and as you reach the brow, you see a very strange scene before you.
I told you you shouldn't touch them.
But I was hungry.
Of course!
Yes?
Huh?
What is it?
I was expecting more of a battle.
Chance.
Yes?
What do you need?
What is it?
Fought well and yet lost.
Now you've got me interested.
Put up a fight!
Uh-huh.
Yes?
Wasting time. No
Let me
chance.
guess. Huh?
What is it?
Huh?
What is it?
What is it?
Now you've got me interested.
Who's next?
Yes?
What do you need?
Huh? Yes, yes, sold!
Hmm?
That was good breathing.
Uh-huh.
Yes?
And what now?
Now you've got me
Yes.
interested.
What do you need?
Huh?
What is it?
And again. Uh-huh.
Yes?
Who's next? What is it?
Now you've got me interested.
Yes?
Kill.
What is it?
Huh?
Hmm? No chance.
Yes?
Yes?
What is it?
He hardly put up a fight.
Huh?
What is it?
And what now?
If I have to. Now you've got me interested.
I was expecting more of a battle.
I can't do that yet.
What do you need?
What is it?
Yes?
What is it?
Huh? Vile creature.
Now you've got me interested.
Huh?
What do you need? Good plan.
And what now?
I didn't even take off my gloves.
And again.
What is it?
He hardly put up a fight.
And I didn't even take off my gloves. Magic takes time.
And again.
Yes?
What is it?
What is it?
Vile creature.
Fought well and yet lost.
The chaotic battle between the orcs, the undead, and you comes to the best possible conclusion. No one else is standing but you. You decide to have a little look around. The closer you get to the murky pool, the worse it stinks of decay and death. At first you thought it was only dirty water, but for as much as you can make out through the gloom, it seems almost black and has wondrous streaks. You discover a file that looks like the one Geralda carries with her. Before you can get a proper look at it, Geralda is suddenly standing next to you, and she wrenches it out of your hand. She turns it back and forth excitedly, but then disappointment spreads across her face. The container is empty. Without a word, she goes back to examining the surroundings. You tremble at the thought that you could end up the same way. You hope that one of your companions would have sympathy with you if you were to die in the perished land. It's a map of the surroundings. Not far from your current position is a place clearly marked with a red cross. Is it another Orc camp, or even the Alfar camp? You mark the place on your own map. With the probable location of another camp up your sleeve, you continue on your way. Geralda struggles to keep pace all day, and when you see her struggling, you give the order to set up camp for the night earlier than usual.
Are you all right?
The female dwarf looks ill, and as she's aware of the fact, she doesn't even try to make excuses.
The potion! It's finished! I need more of it!
She looks at you imploringly, as if you could help her. Over the next few days, Geralda's condition grows increasingly worse. She begins to shiver, and more than once you catch her muttering to herself and glancing at Andakai surreptitiously. The Maga claims she does not know what kind of potion it is and why Geralda might need it. You believe her, but you also notice that Andakai doesn't really seem interested in finding a solution to the problem either. You reach the place that was marked on the Orcs map, and judging by the sight you are presented with, there is no doubt. This is where the Alfar did their experiments.
Dwarves! Oh, how glad I am to finally see members of my own race again. How glad I am to see anyone at all who doesn't want to kill me.
We're here to save you. We've heard that Alfar are experimenting on dwarves. Where are the others?
I am the last one.
There's me too.
You? Ah! So you escaped? Oh, I should have known it.
You're the firstling who set off into the kingdom of the fifthlings to find the sword Star Slasher, aren't you?
Yes, that's true. Kazda Roughblade is the name, but how did you know that?
We found your notes in the Golden Well. We were hoping to find you alive.
I'm grateful. I was hoping that someone would find them in the worst case, and that I was successful. I found the sword and was on my way back from the kingdom of the fifthlings when the Alfar surprised me. They came in the night, and I had no chance to even defend myself. The next morning, I woke up in this cage. They wanted to do the same to me as they'd done to her.
Kazda nods in Geralda's direction.
But they didn't get round to that.
You and Geralda, you know each other?
She was already here when I arrived. The Alfar did experiments on her. They fed her with a tincture from this device, and then it was as if she was a doll. She had to follow their orders. They trained her in battle, and she could do Alfar magic. I swear it. But the last time, something was different. She fought against the orders of the Alfar, beheaded one of them in the end. She set me and the other prisoners free and ran away in the chaos. The Alfar recaptured all of us, apart from her.
Where are the Alfar? Oh, forget it.
Not a bad idea.
And what now?
Now you've got me interested.
And again. Understood.
What is it? I'm not that quick! He hardly put up a fight! Who's next? He hardly put up a fight!
Yes?
And again. And what now?
What is it? If I have to.
Of course!
I'll tell you when I'm ready.
Huh?
What is it?
creature!
Not a bad idea. All right then. Now you've got me interested.
On my way.
Yes!
And what now?
What is it?
Of course!
Not a bad idea. If I have to. Not a bad idea.
Yes?
Huh?
No chance.
Huh?
And what now?
What is it? And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Yes? And again!
Yeah! Yeah! Huh?
Kill! Fire!
Now you've got me interested.
Yes, yes! On with you!
Understood.
Of course! Yes, yes!
On my way.
Of course! I'm with you!
Magic takes time.
Kill! Huh?
Yeah!
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Yeah!
Vile creature!
And what now? Yes, yes! So!
What is it?
On my way.
Of course!
Understood.
I'm with you! Yes, yes! Who's next?
I was hoping never to see a single Shadow Mare again after Greenglade.
Good job, there was 2 of them then! Ha!
Let's have a look around. Maybe there are more survivors, or we might find out something about the potion that Geralda needs. The danger is over. Once and for all.
Now the horror finally comes to an end.
a rucksack containing everything needed for a few days in the wilderness and an exotic-looking sword. The elf has been beheaded. He is dead, and even the perished land won't be able to make him rise again.
Oh, that's him. I remember now. He forced me to drink a potion. That's what gave me my powers. I killed him and ran away.
On closer inspection, you see a small rolled-up note in the elf's hand.
A recipe. If I had to guess, probably for Geralda's potion.
The containers are filled with blood, but it seems thinner and smells sweeter than it should. Presumably the Alfar have done something with it, either for their potions or to use it as paint. You have no idea what to do with the various devices and ingredients, but it should be easy for Andakai, as an experienced mager and alchemist, to brew Geralda's potion. You don't wish to spend the night amongst the dead, so you set up camp a little way off. You decipher the recipe for Geralda's potion together with Andakai and Nemora.
All in all, the equipment and the process is not hard to understand, despite being a little strange. And the ingredients take some getting used to, even for me. This black water and elf blood, for example.
Is this what gives Geralda her powers?
Andakai nods.
It gives her powers and makes her dangerous. What will she do if the potion runs out and she is driven to madness by thirst? She could force me to brew more and more of the potion for her and find a way to supply the elf blood that is needed for it.
Andakai's gaze pierces you.
I can mix a poison that looks just like her potion. She trusts you, Tungdil. If you give it to her, she will drink it, and we will remove an uncontrollable danger from Girdlegard.
That would still be murder. No matter how great a danger she may present, she didn't choose her powers, and deserves to live.
Andakai shakes her head in disappointment, but to your surprise, gets to work without another word. After 2 hours, Andakai comes to you and holds out 2 files that look exactly like Geralda's.
I stick by my opinion, Tungdil. You must recognize how great the danger is. The file on the left is the potion. In the other is the poison.
Andakai gives you the 2 files.
Decide wisely.
Before you can say anything, she has already turned away and is marching at a swift pace towards Jeroen.
Tungdil, is the potion ready?
You only just managed to hide the files from Geralda.
Yes, here is the potion.
You give Geralda the real potion, and she takes several large swigs.
Thank you, Tungdil. What would I do without... Ugh. What is that? It's burning! You've poisoned me!
You stare at the second file in your hand, and then at the face of the dwarf, contorted in pain. With a final pain-stricken scream, Geralda collapses in front of you. As the others rush over, you are still standing there, frozen in shock.
She's dead. Take her away.
Without worrying about the objections of the others, Jeroen follows her order. Andakai grabs your shoulder and pulls you aside.
So you gave her the potion? I thought you would.
You swapped them, how could you?
You feel deceived, and anger boils inside you.
Be aware of who you're talking to, Tungdil Goldhand. We may be traveling together, but I am still one of the 6. I have ruled over my realm for many years and made many difficult decisions. This was not one of them. She was a product of Alpha experiments and could have become as great a danger to Girdlegard as Not On.
But perhaps we could have...
You think you can see a hint of sympathy in the Mega's face, but without another word she leaves you where you're standing. For the first time in a long while, you feel just like the stupid, naive Smith who left the cozy vaults in Yonandar so long ago. The path to Lake Fire lies in front of you. That is where the dragon Brambusil is said to have dwelt, before being killed by the Fifthlings, so they could light the Dragonfire Forge with his flames. Rodario sings a song about the dreadful might of the dragon, and you all look down into the flames below with reverence. When you finally turn away, you think you can see a slight look of sorrow in Boindill's face. Sadness at the fact that the dragon has already been defeated by someone else. As night falls, you find yourselves on a hot mountain face covered in sharp crags. You would favor pretty much anywhere else to spend the night, but it is too dark to go any further. You are woken in the middle of the night by Boindill.
Scholar, can you smell it? There are piggies nearby.
You sniff deeply, but don't smell anything but the stench of sulfur. But you do see something moving in the shadows and are immediately wide awake.
What is it?
Now you've got me interested.
Huh? And what now?
Hmm?
Huh?
Now you've got me interested. What a waste of time.
What is it?
Hmm? I'll tell you when I'm ready. What a waste of time.
Huh? And what now? I'm not that quick.
What is it?
Huh? What is it?
Hmm?
Yes?
Huh? Yes, yes, so.
Now you've got me interested.
Kill!
Yeah! What is it?
What is it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah! Huh?
Now you've got me interested.
Who's next?
Huh?
And what now?
Hmm?
He hardly put up a fight. Oh, there you go.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah!
All right,
Wait,
then.
go. Huh?
Now you've got me interested.
Understood.
Of course! I'm with you!
Understood.
Yes, yes! I'm with you!
What a waste of time.
Huh?
What is it?
Understood.
Yes, yes!
Uh-huh.
Not a
with
bad
you.
idea. What is it?
Huh?
Now you've got me interested.
On my way.
Yes!
Understood.
Of course!
On my way.
Yes! Of course!
Yes?
And what now?
What a waste of time.
I'm
Understood.
with you!
On my way.
Yes!
And again.
What a waste of time.
Of course!
Not a bad idea.
Uh-huh.
What is it?
Now you've got me interested.
creature!
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
After the battle, you finally have time to catch your breath. You check the others one by one to see how they are. Bavragor seems out of it and is staggering with every step he takes.
Bavragor, are you all right?
Agonizingly slowly, he turns to face you. Blood is flowing from his mouth and through his beard.
I made a mistake.
All strength slips from his body and he falls forward. An arrow is protruding from his back.
Andakai, Bavragor has been hit!
You immediately rush towards him. Balandis, next to you, takes his hand.
Too late. The arrow was poisoned. I could feel it. I hadn't planned to return to the kingdom of the Secondlings, but I did at least want to complete my task to die in glory.
You won't die, Bavragor. Andakai, can't you?
You turn to the Mega, but one look at her face robs you of all hope. She shakes her head imperceptibly.
We are in the perished land, aren't we? Let me die. Then I can at least complete my task. My defiance will be stronger than the urge to do evil.
Before you can object, Boindil lays a hand on your shoulder.
You know yourself how stubborn we are, Scholar. We should grant him his wish. If he turns on us, then I will take care of him myself.
You've heard about dead dwarves on expeditions in the perished land defying the bloodlust for many days. But you want to find a better way. Bavragor's breathing is becoming shallower, until it finally stops completely. While Balandis is still sobbing next to you, the stonemason rises suddenly. His face is pale and his eyes seem empty.
Even death can't stop me. I told you. My defiance is stronger.
None of you really know what to say, and finally Bavragor compels you to continue your journey. You can see the inner conflict in the stonemason's face, and you don't know how long he can resist it. You continue on your way with an uneasy feeling. Bavragor has assured you that everything is all right, but since he came back, he has kept himself apart from the rest of the group. You decide to talk to him during your hike.
Are you really all right?
I feel nothing, Tungdil. I don't feel my body anymore, and my head is strangely empty. I hate things that I used to love, and things that I hated.
He glances at Boindil.
I would like to rip into shreds and devour.
You had no idea that it is so bad. On one hand, you feel an unspeakable pain seeing your companion in this state. On the other hand, you are afraid that he could attack one of you, and you hate being so afraid of Bavragor.
Hey, Mega, tell your henchman he shall look after me. If I do things I shouldn't do, he is to stop me.
Everyone has stopped in their tracks, and are all staring at the stonemason. Andakai is the first to free herself from the tense torpor, and with a nod, Jeroen follows the orders, and from that point he doesn't leave Bavragor's side. You finally reach the place where Keenfire will take on form, the stronghold of the Fifthlings with the hottest forge in Girdlegard, Dragonfire. This is where evil first entered Girdlegard, a disgrace for the dwarves, who were given the task of protecting it by Vrachus. Since then, the perished land has spread. Alfar and orcs have invaded, and the elves almost eradicated. But you have decided to face up to the evil. You will forge Keenfire and stop Nodon, or die trying. You enter the old stronghold with determination.
Whoa. The Fiflings really knew how to build a stronghold.
And we're probably the first dwarves in 1,000 cycles to enter these halls.
Come on, you beasts! I may be the last, but I will take at least 4 dozen more of you down with me!
Gandagar! Hold on, my king!
Oh, there's a surprise! Is there some courage hidden inside the little gem cutter after all?
Come on, let's help Gandagar.
Meet your doom.
It's better there.
Hmm?
Huh?
Yeah!
Is it something bad?
What is it?
Over here, I need support.
Yes?
Yeah!
Yes?
Now you've got me interested. Magic takes time.
Huh?
Yeah!
Not a bad idea.
Yeah!
Oh, you weren't expecting that, were you?
Huh?
Yes?
Yeah! Just
What a
die.
waste of time. What is it?
Huh?
My king, you're alive. Oh.
Tungdil! I would have never have thought I'd be so happy to see you again. You seem to have fared better than we.
What happened to you? Where are the others?
They are dead. Only I remain.
Your learned tongue refuses to do its job. You consider how it was you who sent these people to their ruin. You don't see any accusation in Gandagar's expression, just grief and determination.
And now that you are here, I carry the hope that their sacrifice was not in vain.
We have to get to the forge. Let's forget our contest and work together.
I agree. We have seen the spread of the perished lands, and the beasts of Tion wanted us to keep away from this place. Maybe there is some truth in your story about Keenfire.
In a few short words, you give account of everything that has happened to you on your way to the kingdom of the Fiflings. Gandagar listens silently and nods now and then.
You have done well. You appear to be a better leader than I expected, Tungdil Goldhand.
I don't know. Half the time I was advised what to do next.
It is our destiny to follow the untrodden path. Leaders take one step after the other. They never stand still. And if you look back and ask yourself, what if, you will never find the courage to take another step.
You tense your shoulders and strengthen the grip on your weapon.
Let's find out.
Not so fast, groundlings.
Are you going to stop us, little man?
Even greater armies haven't been able to stop us.
An evil grin spreads across the Famulous's face.
Oh, I know. But how about this?
Finally, a real challenge! Everyone else keep your hands off it! Understood?
Now you've got me interested.
Kill!
Of course! And again! Huh?
Kill!
Huh? Yeah!
Hmm?
Kill!
Who's next?
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Kill!
And what now?
No chance.
I'm not that quick! Huh?
Now you've got me interested.
What is it?
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Huh?
No chance.
Yeah!
Hmm?
They're hitting me pretty hard!
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Huh? Yes?
Now you've got me interested.
He hardly put up a fight! And what now?
Huh?
What is it?
And again! He hardly put up a fight! Huh?
Yes?
Vile creature! Who's next?
The end.
What is it?
Huh?
Yeah!
Kill! Please wait a moment. I can't do that yet. I am.
Hold on! Give me a hand!
Huh?
Vile creature! And again! What is it?
Huh? Yes?
Vile creature!
Yeah!
And again!
Who's next?
I need help over here! Quickly! Uh-huh.
Yeah!
And again!
Tungdil, let's hope that was the last obstacle on the path to your victory.
I've already said it once, but I will say it again. I don't want the throne, and I never did. All I care about is saving Girdlegard. If I don't manage, make sure that Keenfire is forged, and promise me that you will work with Namora and Keenfire against Nodon.
Gandagar bows his head.
By Vracus and Giselbert I, in whose kingdom we now stand, I swear I will not rest until Nodon is dead, but you will be by my side. You can't be serious.
It looks like all the fiends of Girdlegard have gathered here together.
You take a deep breath.
We've come too far to give up now. The gate to the forge is at the other end of the hall. Protect those who are important for the creation of the Keenfire. The rest of us are dispensable. Attack!
Ah!
For Girdlegard!
For Vracus! Yeah, oink oink! Here I come!
Aye.
What do you need?
Yes.
That was good training.
At your service.
Yes?
Yes?
Well?
Aye.
What is it?
Yes.
Kill!
Oh. Excellent choice. Vile creature.
Yes?
Yes?
Well?
Kill. At your service.
trading. What do you need? I was expecting more of a battle. Good trading.
Aye.
Yes? Fought well and yet lost.
Huh?
Yes. Agreed.
That was good trading.
Meet your doom.
I was expecting more of a battle. Fought well and yet lost. What do you need?
Understood.
On the way, I understand. At your service.
What is it?
Huh?
Yes.
Awesome choice. Aye.
Again.
On the way, I understand.
Understood. On the way.
There, gladly. Awesome choice. On the way, I understand.
What do you need?
Huh?
What is it?
Aye.
What do you need?
Yes. At your service.
Yes?
Excellent choice. I understand.
Makes sense.
Glad. Four.
Well,
Aye. Wild creature. Kill.
What is it?
Yes.
Another victory.
Kill.
At your service. Wild creature.
Yes?
yes.
Oh. Patience, I'll be ready soon. Rebel force.
What is it?
Rebel force.
Huh?
Well,
Aye.
What do you need?
not do that yet. Just die.
At your service. Even I am not that quick.
Huh?
Girdle Guard is ours.
For our choice.
Yeah! Yeah! Yes.
That was good training.
Make your
And again.
What do you need?
Understood.
Glad.
Yes.
At your service.
Yes?
Uh-huh.
Well,
What do you need? Just a moment.
Yes.
I understand.
It won't open.
It's about time for a plan, Scholar.
Enough! The time has come!
Not on.
Open the gate. I'll hold him off for as long as I can.
Back, you maggots! They belong to me!
Isn't not on. It's...
Radaria.
it makes no difference. The gate is bolted shut.
Later! Get inside!
You recognize the dwarf standing in front of you in shimmering armor, because you have seen his features more than once, wrought in gold and vercassium and flaunted on the walls on your way through the kingdom of the Fifthlings. Giselbert Ironeye, the progenitor of the Fifthlings.
Welcome, whoever you may be. I hope your coming is a good omen.
You look at the 10 dwarves with their pale faces and eyes that seem slightly vacant, as if they were in a trance. They are wearing wonderfully crafted armor, and the resolve that Vracus gave his people can be read in each and every face.
It really is you, isn't it?
We are the last of the Fifthling clan. We have defied the hordes of evil since the downfall of my realm. We fell against the Elfar and were brought back to life by the perished land, but instead of serving it, we fought against it. We are rather hard to defeat, and each of my men has slain more monsters than any other dwarf before them. But such victories are a meager consolation after such a loss.
And you don't feel any hate towards other dwarves or all things living?
You are thankful for the old king and his men, but you experience firsthand what power the perished land exerts over those it has in its grasp.
We have learned 1,100 cycles have been enough to silence the hate inside us.
You look at the legendary king's face,
and see no signs of lying, but also no joy, no hope, no life. Just sadness and the irrepressible defiance of the dwarves.
I thank you for your help. Without you, we would have been finished.
Those creatures were content to just watch us for an age, but for the last few orbits, they have been trying to take the forge. I dare say the change has something to do with your wee band, eh?
We are representatives of the Firstlings, the Secondlings, and the Fourthlings, accompanied by the Mega, Andakai the Tempestuous, and friends. It's grim for Girdlegard. The magical barriers that kept the Perish land in check for centuries are destroyed. A Magus by the name of Nod On controls the magic, and he can't be killed. Not with any ordinary weapon.
The Dragonfire Forge. Can we light it?
No.
But it's the only place where we can forge Keenfire. The only weapon that can defeat Nodon.
The furnace cannot be lit because it never went out. We defended it against invaders from the beginning. It is burning as hot and bright as ever. Vracus must have known we would need it again one day. Now, rest. The gates will not fall. We'll see to that. Permit yourselves as much sleep as you need, and then we will get to work.